Don't you forget. Don't you forget. Welcome, everybody. If it's a couple of minutes past 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, it's time for me, your boy, The Club with Lucas, here on RCE 106.9 FM, all over the lovely Al Gore's interwebs, and 106.9 all over Catalonia. Welcome, everybody. It's a nice, cold, gray day, and will be raining for approximately the next 24 hours. Enjoy it, bitches. But I am not alone. I am so happy to welcome two wonderful people, one of whom is a dear, dear brother, and the other one, and friend, and the other one is going to be soon. Mr. Phil Antigua, director extraordinaire. Something coming up that we're going to be talking about, and we're breaking through. I say it's the teaser trailer interview is what I'm calling it, over Airwaves. And we will talk about that in just a little bit. We are also joined by its star and model and actor and musician, Alex LeBron Torrent. Thank you, my brothers, for being here.
Thank you so much for
having us.
Thank you.
And they're going to be joining us to pipe in as well in just a few minutes when I bitch about the news in English, as we do all the time for you. We've got a lot to get to, and a lot. Well, we're going to start with some sad news in just a minute, but we're going to give you something else. Who you were just listening to, by the way, was Ozzy Osbourne and Jeff Beck, who just won Best Rock Album for his Patient Number 9 record. That was the song with Jeff Beck that they recorded just before Beck died. Shout out to my dad, Jeff, who's the biggest fan of Jeff Beck. But everybody else, let's get moving on, because we're going to be serving you Grammy music love and news and clues that you can use all week. Well, it's going to be playing all week, but all of this session today. Now, remember, you can follow us here at 106.9 FM. You can also join us on the YouTube at hashtag 106.9 RCE at YouTube, where we're streaming, as well as Facebook Live. And remember, follow my ass at The Club with Lucas on Instagram and The Club W Lucas on Twitter, and soon on Mastodon. Also, catch the jams live on rce.cot. And Jesus Christ, can we get to some music? Yes. Okay, the Grammys were yesterday. Well, they were yesterday for us early in the morning. It was actually late Sunday night in the States, but you know, that country. So, Beyonce, my sister from Texas, who also went to New York. We are the best. Just saying. But my Tejana Neoyorquina has broken Grammy records after what is, I believe, that was the 85th Grammys, but after many, many years of Grammys, she has now scored over, I believe it's 35 Grammys, more than any other artist in the history of the awards. So shout out to my beautiful Tejana. She has also just announced that she is going on tour with her Renaissance tour, and yet she did not win Album of the Year. That was won by the New Directioner, or is it One Directioner? It's the One Directioner. Oh, really? Harry Styles, I love the brother because at least he's, serving up whatever he's serving up. He's good. I'm not gonna front. All right, he's got his shtick. But Renaissance was the album of the MFN year, and all the critics said so. A lot of critics said that too. So we're gonna give you one of the winners of last night's. She actually won in the dance electronic category, which is always odd because it's usually relegated to other stars like Madonna, and Beyonce won this, and it's rare that a woman of her caliber wins electronic dance album. But that's what they gave her, and a lot of R&B stuff as well. She did go home with 4 Grammys that night, and this is Beyonce's Break My Soul. We'll be right back with that news in English for you in 4 minutes, everybody.
Release the time, release the strain, release the stress, release the love, forget the rest. I'ma let down my hair, 'cause I lost my mind.
homies in the back. Ain't taking no flicks, but the whole click snap. There's a whole lot of people in the house trying to smoke with the yak in your mouth. And we back outside. You said you outside, but you ain't that outside. Worldwide hoodie with the mask outside. In case you forgot how we act outside. Motivation. Motivation. Found me a new foundation. Yeah. Foundation. Taking my new salvation. New salvation. My own foundation. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh baby, you won't break my soul. 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 And I'm telling everybody, yeah. You don't seek it, you won't see it, that we all know. Can't break my soul. You don't think it, you won't be it, that love ain't yours. Can't break my soul. Trying to fake it never makes it, that we all know. Can't break my soul. You have the stress and I'll take less, I'll justify love. We go round in circles, searching for love. We go up and down, lost and found, searching for love. Looking for something that lives inside me. For something that lives inside me. You won't break my soul. 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 Telling everybody, telling everybody, everybody. You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. No, no. You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. And I'm telling everybody, 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 everybody. Taking my new salvation and building my own foundation. Got motivation. I done found me a new foundation, yeah. I'm taking my new salvation, and I'ma build my own foundation, yeah.
Take off the stone. Vamos to make it go. Release your anger, release your mind, release your job, release the time, release your trade, release the stress, release your love, forgive the rest.
All right, You Will Not Break My Soul. That was Beyonce, yet another winner and a Grammy Award. Well, she's, best of all time. What is that? Best of all time? She's a boat. She's a goat boat. Now, above all, and firstly, we want to send, because this news just happened yesterday, and we're collecting body count as we're speaking. So we just want to send hope, strength, love, and fuerza to all the people in the Turkian and Syrian border right now. There was a massive earthquake that hit them at 4:30 in the morning yesterday, and so far 4,300 people are confirmed dead at the moment. U.S. and EU troops are being sent. As I speak, they're currently en route there to go help and assist in the cleaning and search and rescue operations that are, just kicking off right now. And of course, this also happens, and this is horrible irony, but this also happens where the United Nations has one of their biggest forces were refugees and people who are fleeing the conflict within those borders. And yeah, we know that. And those have been destroyed.
I read somewhere it was like 7.8 something on the Richter.
It was the largest that they've had in about 25 years, but it was even much larger than that one that killed several thousand in 1999, I believe it was. So, of course, it's something that's going to be, keeping updated, but it's also bloody cold over there right now, surprisingly enough. And so that's something to be paying attention to. In fact, that was all over the headlines as well as this ridiculous balloon issue that went over in the United States of America. I'm sure for some reason it's still on the front lines of the front pages, rather, in La Vanguardia, El País, and everywhere in their mother. But apparently there was a Chinese balloon that flew over the United States, that flew over the Northern American region, actually went up through the Americas, and then it was in Canada. By Tuesday evening, it had ensconced itself within the U.S. border, specifically over the Midwest, and was reported between Wednesday and Thursday. Now, apparently, President Grandpa over there decided that on Wednesday we're going to shoot that thing down, But his defense ministers and the military came out and said, we can't do that. It's floating over the Midwest. It's the size of 2 to 3 school buses, and the debris would shatter between 7 to 15 miles. And if you have school buses falling down in the Midwest, it could, kill people. Well, as always, the conservative right in there started blaming, why aren't we shooting it down? And they were actually posting posts on Twitter, some of these congressmen pointing their guns out. I'm ready to shoot.
Let it fall over.
Let it fall down. I don't care. And so this is why the military. So of course they immediately blasted him for not doing that because it makes the U.S. look weak and that China's taken over. Finally, it was over. It was on Atlantic Ocean territory over Saturday, so they blew it up with one fell swoop of a missile, and all the debris is being. The debris actually shattered over in a 7.5 mile area. So that's over 10 kilometers over the ocean and parts of the Carolinas. So they are picking up that debris. Nobody was hurt or injured because they didn't blow it up over the Midwest.
But that question here,
which would have been red country anyway. So I'm not saying to do it.
Excuse me, Professor. The class got a couple of questions here. When you're talking about debris and stuff, what is it something that's supposed to be inside of the balloon or the actual carriage underneath the balloon?
All of it. There's something within and the carriage, and they said that it was the weight of between 2 and 3. It's the size and weight of between 2 and 3 school buses.
But you mean to tell me that they don't have weapons to, disintegrate that bitch? If it's such a threat?
Theoretically, yes, but how do we know that there wouldn't still be debris that falls over?
Nuke it, man.
You mean like Donald Trump wanted to nuke the hurricanes?
I mean,
Did you hear
there.
about that?
What?
There are recent reports now confirming that between 2019 and 2020, we had a load of hurricanes that were destroying a lot of the states, predominantly in red states. Now, when I say red states, I mean Christian Republican states. I think God was mad. And
wiggle.
But the thing is, he said, why can't we just throw a nuclear bomb in the eye of the hurricane and just explode the hurricane?
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
This
is the same kind of things that we're dealing with. Now, I would like to report, because many people are not reporting, that during the Trump administration, those 4 years, China sent 3 balloons that they kept hidden, and they never shot them down. Wow. So 3 balloons were flown, and one over the Obama administration as well. Now, these balloons have also been used since the Civil War of the United States of America. They've been using balloons like Bloody Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz to go way up and find out where the encampments were of the Union Army. So this is something that's been going on for almost 200 years. But, who's going to fight fate? Except Taylor Dane. All right. Now, as of today, in Barcelona and Catalonia, you do not have to wear your mask. Your mascareta, tu mascarilla, is not necessary on public transport, neither in the metro, Renfe, or FGC, or Rodalias. However, it is still going to be obligatory to do that in all medical facilities and clinics, as well as all pharmacies, so you have to wear them, din. Am I going to be wearing this in the metro? Of course I am. Am I a hypochondriac? Of course I am. And don't forget, we're still dealing with the triple-demic.
Oh, yeah.
So we still have RSV, Omicron, Deltacron, and all the crons, and the gripe de toda la vida. So, just because the government says to do something, does it mean you're going to go jump off a bridge too? So anyway, but that is now over. And another thing that I'd like to report on really quickly is that the Supreme Court today is starting discussions to go back to whatever normal was for... Well, let me just put up my translation here. Whatever normal was in reference to the abortion law. In 2010, the Zapatero administration approved laws for all women that without any questions, without any undue necessity, I think for certain ages, even without parental permission, up to 14 weeks, you can have an abortion here. Well, the Pepe, many people will remember that after Zapatero was out and Rajoy came in, they tried to, and they did, ban abortion. I believe it was the 23rd. It was right before Christmas Eve on 2015. Right after Reyes, right after St. Stephen's, they annulled that, and abortion was all. The minute they did that, though, Asturias, País Vasco, and Catalonia all said, come over here, we will help you out. We will take care of it. Worst case scenario, we'll send you to Andorra to do these things because they're taking away a constitutional right that people have. Remember, this is happening in the United States as well. There are 14 states where it's completely illegal, including the life of the mother in 11 of them, to have an abortion in the United States of America. Texas has vigilante justice. Look it up. So anyway,
wow.
So the main argument about these methods is that they don't like the wording that was put into the Constitution about this, because the wording says that without any characteristic, situation, or objection to conflict to justify, you can formally sacrifice the human life of an unborn child. That's how it's worded in the Constitution, up to 14 weeks. In the draft that is going on by the conservative magistrates, they don't like that because they believe that it is a fundamental right to the holder of a life that life exists. Basically, it's the life commences at the point of conception thing.
Kind of.
And so that wording means that you are basically killing innocent lives, according to the Pepe. Now, what happens to the life after the baby is born, the Pepe could give a shit about, because, you know what, we can't have them immigrants with our money. So please remember that, because they will have to side with Vox to get any of this stuff approved, and even then they would have a minority. But they are doing their best to change some of the wording that's protected by Article 15 of our Constitution. And again, this is all coming off the back of another democracy who just did this and pulled it off with the Supreme Court in the United States of America. Also, just to put a little bit more justification to that, Brasilia just had their own Capitolio, their own January 6th on January 8th. So I think the United States, when it starts to foment things, a lot of other anocracies, for I no longer truly believe in democracy, a lot of other anocracies start to adapt that platform.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, in some aspects, perhaps even Airwaves might not necessarily touch on those political issues, but the way that things are controlled. Who's controlling future? Are we controlling ourselves? We'll talk about much more of that, obviously, in a different format. Last thing I wanted to talk about was the weather's going to be shite for the rest of the week. So even if it's straight up. So even when it's 7 degrees or 4 degrees, 5 degrees outside, the wind chill, apparently because of the winds and the rain factor this week, will be below zero. So please, layer up. That's all the good stuff that Jesus would tell you to do. Now, what Lucas is going to tell you to do is listen to the best rap artist in my opinion, one of the more known best rap artists, Kendrick Lamar. I love me some Kendrick Lamar. He did win a couple of Grammys as well. And specifically for this one, this is the Heart Part 5. Remember, you can catch the jams live on rce.cat, 106.9 FM, and YouTube at RCE 106.9. Here's Kendrick Lamar. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
As I get a little older, I realize life is perspective. And my perspective may differ from yours. I want to say thank you to everyone that's been down with me. All my fans, all my beautiful fans. Anyone who's ever gave me a listen. All my people.
I come from a generation of pain where murder is minor. Rebellious and more jealous, a trip you for designer. Belt buckles and cloud overzealous and prone to violence. Make their own turn, be your will of the will alignment. Residue burn, missed at the inner city. Miscommunication to keep homo detector busy. No protection is risky. Desensitized, I vandalize pain. Covered up and camouflage, get used to hearing arsenal rain. Analyze, risk your life, take the charge. Homies don't fuck your baby mama once you hit the yard. That's culture, 23-hour lockdown. Then somebody called, said your little nephew was shot down. The culture's involved. I done seen niggas do 17, hit the halfway house, get out and get his brains blown out. Looking to buy some weed, car washes played out. New GoFundMe accounts will proceed. A brand new victim of shatter those dreams. The culture.
I want the hood. Look what I done for you. Look what I done for you.
I said I do this for my culture, to let y'all know what a nigga look like in a bulletproof Rover. In my mama's sofa was a doodle popper, hair trigger, walk up closer. Ain't no photoshopping, friends bipolar. Grab you by your pockets, no option if you froze up. Always play the offense. Niggas going to work and selling work, late for work. Working late, praying for work, but he on paperwork. That's the culture. Point the finger, promote ya. Remote location, witness protection, they gon' hold ya. The streets got me fucked up. Y'all can miss me. I wanna represent for us. New revolution was up and moving. I'm in Argentina, wiping my tears, full of confusion. Water in between us, another peer's been executed. History repeats again. Make amends, then find a nigga with the same skin to do it. But that's the culture. Crack a bottle. Hard to deal with the pain when you're sober. By tomorrow, we forget that remains, we start over. That's the problem. Our foundation was trained to accept whatever follows. Dehumanized, insensitive, scrutinized the way we live for you and I. Enemy shook my hand, I can promise I'll meet you in a land where no equal is your equal. Never say I ain't told ya. Nah, in a land where hurt people hurt more people. Fuck calling it culture.
I want the hood. Look what I done for you. Look what I done for you. Take the drums out.
Celebrate new life when it come back around. The purpose is in the lessons we learning now. Sacrifice personal gain over everything, just to see the next generation better than ours. I wasn't perfect, the skin I was in that truly suffered. Temptation and patience, everything that the body nurtures. I felt the good, I felt the bad, and I felt the worry. But all in all, my productivity has stayed urgent. Face your fears, always knew that I would make it here, where the energy is magnified and persevered. Consciousness is synchronized and crystal clear. Euphoria is glorified and made his. Reflecting on my life and what I done. Paid dues, made rules, change out of love. Them same views made schools change curriculums, but didn't change me staring down the barrel of that gun. Should I feel resentful I didn't see my full potential? Should I feel regret about the good that I was into? Everything is everything, this ain't coincidental. I woke up that morning with more heart to give you. As I bleed through the speakers, feel my presence. To my brother, to my kids, I'm in heaven. To my mother, to my sis, I'm in heaven. To my father, to my wife, I'm serious, this is heaven. To my friends, make sure you count them blessings. To my fans, make sure you make them investments. And to the killer that spared up my demise, I forgive you, just know your soul's in question. I seen the pain in your pupil when that trigger had squeezed. And though you did me gruesome, I was surely relieved. I completed my mission, wasn't ready to leave, but fulfilled my days, my creator was pleased. I can't stress how I love y'all. I don't need to be in flesh just to hug y'all. The memories recollect just because y'all celebrate me with respect. The unity we protect is above all. And Sam, I'll be watching over you. Make sure my kids watch all my interviews. Make sure you live out our dreams we produce. Keep that genius in your brain on the move. And to my neighborhood, let the good prevail. Make sure them babies and the leaders out of jail. Look for salvation when troubles get real. Cause you can't help the world until you help yourself. And I can't blame the hood the day that I was killed. You had to see it, that's the only way to feel. And though my physical won't reap the benefits, the energy that carry on and mix still, I want you.
Yeah, and he keeps teaching and preaching. And that was part 5, by the way, everybody. So there's a lot more on the record. So check that one, because that was another one that won.
Oh, yes.
We're doing Grammys all day. And now, without further ado, the genius minds behind Airwaves. Woo! Thank you for joining the club, everybody. We're happy to have you here. As always, Sir Alex LeBron Torrent.
Thank you for having me.
Antigua, breaking his virgin soul here on the club with Lucas. Heart of the people. Thank you for being here, everybody. Now, let's get to work here. Why are we here today? And this has been a labor of sci-fi, reality, and love for a hot minute.
A long minute.
And the production of it
now.
Already in this year, we've already had 2 filmmakers, and now we're having 3 more. And so we're just doing filmmaking since the holidays.
Special.
And there's so much that's happening here within the city, whether it's independent things, whether it's short films, whether it's major productions, what have you. I mean, bloody hell, they were shooting the new season of The Crown over here and stopped it for the Queen. Oh, really? Respect. Okay.
I don't know.
But let's talk. Sir, as an audio engineer, turned director, turned writer, turned producer, what brought you here to Barcelona in the first place, out of curiosity? How long have you been here?
Love. In a nutshell, you know. Yeah, my missus is from Galicia. We were living in Manchester, and every day she'd say, "What's the weather like?" And I'd be like, "It's grey." Like it was yesterday, like it will be tomorrow. Let's go get some sunshine.
Yeah.
Amen.
So honestly, how long had you been together in Manchester?
We've been there we've been together for a long time. We got married over here, but we've been there for, I don't know. We were in Manchester for 6 years.
Yeah.
But we were in Liverpool before that a couple of years as well. So it was like, we just needed some sun and some warmth, And
Never London though. Interesting.
I
bro.
used to
We
work
needed
a
some
lot
sun.
in London, but I never actually lived there. It's
Exactly.
too expensive to live in that city.
What are you talking about? Rent's not. Oh,
And
by
I
the way,
needed some
speaking
sun.
of which, over the next year, the biggest major cities of Europe will be increasing their rent prices by 20%.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Really?
Between now and 2024.
That's
This
why
is
I'm
a
out.
new law, a new rule that's just not a new rule, a new report that's just coming out. So major cities, that's going to include this one: Madrid, Paris, Barcelona, Oslo. Yeah.
I'm becoming a country boy.
Yeah, yeah.
20%.
Now, that's going to be, I mean, based on everything, like we're talking about companies and corporations and big buildings and things, but overall, there could be up to a 20% increase in major cities. If that's going to affect Spanish cities that much, of that percentage, probably not. But other places like Oslo, places like that might be affected.
And I mean, that's...
FYI, people, that's just, and it was just published this morning, so it's brand new news.
And isn't that going like purely against the development here with the demonstrations about lowering the rent? We were pushing the Catalan people out because the expats are basically taking over the city center.
Well, I'm sure Adako, which is why I don't live there, but I'm sure Adako Lau will reduce the juice, and then the minute she's back in, she'll pump it up like it's a Technotronic song.
But I bought a coffee in Oslo the last time I was there, and it cost me 14 euros.
Uh-huh.
And that was for a cortado. So, and that was a couple of years back, we're talking 6 years ago. So yeah, that's scary.
And Sweden is not
this
there
is
yet.
another reason
but
why to come to, yes, exactly.
well on the way.
Exactly. Another reason why to live here, I would say. So, as an audio guy, what led you down the path of AI direction, writing, and the creation of Airwaves?
I was ill. I was just really sick. I had mononucleosis, and I was really, really sick. I was in bed, and I was just poorly for 2 entire months. And when I got better was when I just had this epiphany, a really good idea. And I've had a lot of bad ideas in my life, but this was one of the better ones, and probably the best one, the best creative idea I've ever had. So I wanted to roll with it.
So, from the kissing disease to these ideas.
Basically,
Wow.
Yeah, I wish I'd have been doing a lot of kissing, but it just came out of nowhere. Wow. I think my child brought it home from his guarderia, probably.
Who he been kissing?
But kids don't have a response to this, but adults normally have a really bad time. And I was in bed for 3 entire months.
I don't know.
Yeah. And so when I got better, I just had this epiphany. I woke up with this idea, and I was like, "Whoa, I've got to do something with that." That's a really, really strong idea. And I went back to sleep, and when I woke up, I had half a script in my head. That was it, and that's how it was born. But it was crazy idea.
I love it.
Was all of this happening as well at the same time as we were entering a whole new world with this pandemic?
No, it was way before that.
it's
I mean,
before
this has been going on for. This started like 7 years ago.
Wow.
7 years ago, I came up with the idea, and really, I literally spent 4 years learning how to write a screenplay.
Amen. I'm in that process right now. I love it. I love it. So I might shoot some stuff off of you, my brother.
Yeah,
with your
yeah,
permission, of
cool,
course.
cool.
How without giving it like you wrote over the weekend, without giving any spoilers away, because this is just a teaser trailer interview. What is the film theoretically about? How would both of you define the film?
You start.
Okay, well, it's basically what it's about is there's a quote by Buckminster Fuller, which is damn. it is we are
Meant to be the architects.
no, it's damn.
I'm going to stop that recording. That's what I'm going to do now. And in fact, why don't we throw on a song and then get back to it? And I want us to look that up.
Yeah.
Because seriously, that's the
no.
point of this
I've got it.
infotainment reality.
We are called to be. We are called to
There we
be
go.
the architects of the future. We are called to be the architects of the future, not its victims.
So being called to be the architects of the future entails what, in your opinion?
Well, we kind of design our future using technology. We we design what's going on now, and by designing the things, the products and the machines that we use now, we're effectively designing our future. And now what's going on with AI is pretty huge, because it's a definition of what will come in the next 5 or 10 years. And I don't think people really understand the gravity of what AI means. I mean, there's two basic kinds of AI. There's the simple stuff, which is like Mid-Journey and ChatGPT-3. I say simple, it's getting pretty damn sophisticated right now. But this is the simple stuff. What they're working on, what the big cats are working on, what Elon Musk is working on, what the Americans and the Russians and the Chinese are all throwing billions at, is general AI, which is a whole different ballgame, you know? And that's gonna throw everything off kilter. So this is what it's exploring all of these themes.
Okay, I've got so many questions to that. And Alex, before we jump into the song, how would you describe this, sir, and its relevance for how you perceive it?
I love it because I perceive it as being the last generation, if you will, that remember a life prior to the internet. Because, you know, after me, you know, they all grew up with it and, you know, affect them in that way. But I feel kind of luxurious now that I have the life before and now seeing how it affects modern day society now. And also, I've been asking myself throughout the years, okay, I experienced the first step, if you will, in my world. What is the second step going to be, you know, with cell phones and robots and stuff? And I feel that actually what we're talking about now with the AI and this boom that is happening in the modern day world, now we are experiencing the next step in it. And are we ready? And with my, you know, brain and the little microscopic things I know, I claim that we're not. Like, and the whole aspect that Airwaves is painting up, you know, that we are creating these gods, if you will, and we are acting that, okay, but we are going to have this singularity that eventually their intelligence are going to supersede ours. What are we going to do then? And that is the thing. I would love to be a part of that narrative to, you know, what are we going towards here? What are we building for ourselves? Are we even aware of what's happening, or are we too blind, you know, missing the forest for the trees kind of thing? Because we have the Elon Musks of the world and the Jeff Bezoses to fill the void, you know?
The right and the left, filling a void.
Right? But do we actually know? And I'm just so happy to be a part of it. That's where I want to go.
Amen. And we're going to put it into something positive. You know something positive that happened at the Grammys the other day? Nice segue. Was that for the first time in a hot minute, a young 23-year-old African-American sister won Best New Artist, and her name is Samara Joy, and no one's ever heard of her. You know why? Because she's only in the jazz sector. And so she beat out, and I'm going to get me this right, Anita Wet Leg, who we played here. I just love me some Wet Leg. A lot of Afro-pop as well. Toby Ngaiwe, Molly Tuttle, and Mooney Long. She just beat out a whole slew of people with a bunch of jazz. So, folks, we're going to play you one of the songs that did actually win for her, and that one is called Sweet Pumpkin. And we'll be right back with Phil and Alex.
Nice.
You know something? I'm in love with you. Won't you be a sweet pumpkin? Say you love me too. If you do, I'm certain we could be one of the happiest couples in this society. I got a feeling that I'm just your style. Go on and admit it, and we'll walk that aisle. Don't be shy, just put your arms around me, and you'll get plenty of loving. Just you wait and see. Can't you tell we were meant to be together? And a wedding bell would be ours to ring forever and ever. Let's make a bookend just to be man and wife. Say yes, good looking. Let me share your life. You're to me everything that is divine. So won't you be a sweet pumpkin? Say that you'll be mine. You know something? I'm in love with you. So won't you be a sweet pumpkin? Say that you love me too. And if you do, I am certain we could be one of the happiest couples in this society. And I've got a feeling that I'm just your style. Go on, admit it, and we'll walk right down that aisle. Don't you be shy, just put your arms around me. You'll get plenty of loving, just you wait and see. Can't you tell we were meant to be together? And the wedding bell would be ours to ring forever and ever. So let's make a bookend just to be man and wife. Say yes, good looking. Let me share your life. You're to me everything that is divine. Be a sweet pumpkin, say that you'll be mine. Can't you tell we were meant to be together? And the wedding bell would be ours to ring forever and ever. Let's make a boogie to be man and wife. Say yes, good looking. Let me share your life. You're to me everything that is divine. Be a sweet pumpkin. Say that you'll be mine. Be a sweet pumpkin. Say that you'll be mine.
Yeah, folks.
wow.
Over here on the Club with Lucas and RCE 106.9 FM. Will you hear Samara Joy and her beautiful jazz sounds as well? She is the new best new artist for the year, according to the Grammys, anyway. Sir Alex, how did you feel when this beautiful man here comes with his ambitious ideas like, yo, we're doing this? How did you feel at that point?
It was kind of a surreal thing for me, but it also felt like a full circle moment because I've always been advocating conviction. And my acting thing started on a whim many, many years ago. But it came from always have loved that form of expression. That medium always spoke to me in a way that I could never explain. So I felt that when and if that thing occurs in your life, someone or something just shows up and believes in you, you will give them a reason to even believe in you more. And I felt that everything I've been going through in my life leading up to this point prepared me to meet a person like Phil, because I felt it's equally my responsibility to make him want to continue to work with me and feel this passion that I so deeply feel from him. Exactly. And, you know, so when this thing kind of came in, I was never even, you know, maybe you want to fill in the blanks later, but I was never even thought of to be a part of it like that. But I felt like it doesn't matter to me because I feel so much passion here. I feel I can learn so much from this man, what he represents, what this means to him, what, you know. So I will do whatever I can to see what it will lead to, you know.
Do you like that kind of commitment, sir?
It's kind of lovely, you know. Kind of lovely. No. To be honest, Alex was never really on the cards for this project. It was like he wasn't a consideration at the beginning. He was supposed to be a model in one of the first shots that we did. That was how he was supposed to be involved in it. I had my mind set on Daniel Kaluuya. I'd been following him for years. I'd seen him in the theatre in London. He was a small-time actor doing small-time TV, but I really respected him. I thought, man, this guy is going places. And every time I saw him, he got bigger. He was on bigger projects. He ended up doing big. He did the Black Mirror. Is it Black Mirror?
Yeah, Black Mirror.
Yeah, he did the Black Mirror thing and totally carried the episode. And I was just obsessed with getting hold of him and getting hold of his agents, etc. But in the meanwhile, I found Alex by some kind of random coincidence on Instagram, and I called him up. We had a meeting, and in that meeting, we spoke for 4, 5, 6 hours. Yeah. You know, one of those things where you got to kind of pull yourself back in and go, "Oh, damn, I should have been somewhere else 2 hours ago." You know, and there was just this connection, and again. and I brought him on board. He did that first scene when he was supposed to be just doing this teaser trailer, a single scene, just sat there on top of a mountain. And we looked at all this equipment up a mountain, like the three of us, like the DOP and Alex and myself. And normally when you're on TV and film shoots, there's always, when people are lugging equipment, that's when they start complaining. This guy never complained. His attitude was on point. He was there. He was engaged. He kept saying, "How can I make this better?" That's been his attitude from the get-go. Good vibes on set. Good attitude coming into it. He just impressed the heck out of me. And by the fourth or fifth scene that we were doing together, every time I'd see him on the screen when I was doing the color grading or looking at the rushes, I'd be like, this guy's a star. What the hell am I doing looking at other people that I can't even afford now because they became these big mega stars? This guy is going to be a star. He's got a lot of talent. He's not just a model and a musician and an actor. He does all of these things with passion and with integrity and with authenticity, and that is priceless. So I was just like, yeah, he is Blake. He's the character.
So you are Blake.
I am like
A triple threat.
as
man.
of right now.
And one of the things that I loved about this, because I'm a huge follower of certain types of music, specifically from the late 70s and early 80s, Thomas Dolby
Oh yeah.
has inspired a lot of this. And I want to play his Airwaves song if we can, because I went through the catalog and I was like, wait, it has to be this one.
Yeah.
So
And then some.
let's throw some Thomas Dolby Airwaves now, and then I want to come back and ask you about why this was an inspiration for part of what we're doing here today.
Definitely.
With Airwaves the movie, here's Airwaves the song by Thomas Dolby, an inspiration for this film. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Strange how the scale forms in tiny patterns on my antenna, and the 5 o'clock shot. Hello, hello. Brooklyn is crawling with famous people. I turn my vehicle beneath the river, west from south. Through the airwaves, people never read the airwaves. Do we only feel the airwaves? I really should have seen through the airwaves. Electric fences line our new freeway. Here in the half-light, the motorhomes leave here. Knee-deep in water, under a pylon. How slow my heart beats, how thin the air I'm breathing. Through the airwaves, people never read the airwaves. Do we only feel the airwaves? Most time I'm out as 3-level airwaves. Dampness of the wind, the airwaves. Tension of the skin, the airwaves. Whoa. Controls enabled, the abandoned was again, but the copper cables all rust in the acid rains that flood the suburban. Elements of like erosion cabled into me. Yeah, cable them to me. Cable them to me. Be in my broadcast when this is over. Give me your shoulder. I need a place to wait for morning. No, it was nothing. Some car backfiring. Please don't ask questions. I itch all over. Let me sleep. Through the airwaves, people never read the airwaves. Do we only feel the airwaves?
Love it. And okay, so Thomas Dolby, Airwaves, and a musician extraordinaire, really, with his production and who he's worked with, like Houdini, David Bowie, Prefab Sprout. Who else?
Well, he's kind of been all over the place. He's and his own productions have just been absolutely amazing. You know, he's done a lot of stuff which is not been that kind of the commercial side of She Blinded Me with Science, everyone knows. But he's done a lot of stuff with like Africa Bambata. You know, he's just been around wherever you kind of dig a little, and you find Foreigner and these like underground groups that you think that you wouldn't associate with him. And whenever I hear really good melodies, I'm thinking, I'm sure Thomas Dolby was involved in that somewhere. Or textures, really nice synth textures. You know, the way most people use synths.
Yes, Lord.
Being the musical director for David Bowie, for, you know, Live Aid, what is it, 2 billion people?
Yeah.
That speaks for itself.
Playing live to 2 billion people. You know?
Speaking for itself, the movie, I mean, the movie now is in post-production and you're wrapping things up. What is the next step for a film, especially for local independent producers who are, you know, wrapping up a film production? What is the next step?
Well, we're not actually wrapping it up. What we've done is we've only shot like basically what would the then look for funds and for investors, etc. And then, you know, it all went pear-shaped because as soon as I started filming with Alex, my DOP and my best friend died like 3 weeks into the production, which was huge. You know, the main guy who I was supposed to be doing this with died 3 weeks into the production. I'm so sorry. And so that obviously threw a spanner in the works, and you know, lots of delays. Then, you know, there were there was a pandemic. My brother died as well. It was pretty hardcore. It was a roller coaster. But, you know, I got through it, and we got the production on track, and we started filming again, and Alex sort of got more seriously involved in the project, and it took off. And now we have about 30 or 40 minutes of the actual film shot and in the can. Now we're just going to present, like we're halfway through the process, we're going to present a trailer of the movie, look for funding, look for finances, do a crowdfunding, and then take it from there.
This is one of the first productions, in fact, the first production that was shot in Ibiza last year, or the year before, rather, after post-pandemic, during the pandemic. We had their director and writer, Jesus Joveras, on here as we were doing that in the middle of, do you know Jesus?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it is about that and getting that. And now he's in the festival circuits all over the Americas right now. And this is how it's starting. And folks, you're getting the little clue in the pistita here on the RCE Club with Lucas. I want to thank you guys for being here. Please, sir.
No, thank you. I just want to fill in. It's so nice what he's saying, because for me, you know, we're coming from zero acting background. For me, it's just been, you know, how can you accumulate the knowledge and what you need to have to get there, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it starts with conviction, but then also like, what are you prepared to go through to achieve your goal? And I'm always looking for those people, you know, like, I don't really care about your problems. I do, you know, in the sense that I love you. Absolutely. Everybody goes through shit. But show me who you are. What do you do to get through it? What are you achieving meanwhile all of this is happening? Maybe you don't even talk about your problems when you do this shit. And that's what this man keeps showing me, you know, because all of us have stuff in life. But the things we go through with the conviction we have, I feel even with my conviction start point, it's still rubbing off on me to a sense that nothing's going to stop us. And that's where I'm coming from myself now, with the conviction in my own acting career. You know, like the movie I was in a couple of months ago, premiering in the cinemas, that girl is now starring in a new movie, co-starring with Kit Harington from Game of Thrones.
Of course.
I was like, these things, like several years ago, acting wasn't not even on the wall for me. And now I've been in a scene with her that is now in that. So it's becoming a reality, and it's rubbing off on me due a lot to people like him entering into my life.
With some of the, especially the emotional issues that went on, and we do need to start wrapping up, damn it. But with some of the emotional issues that he was going through as this time, plus the pandemic, did that make you feel more engaged to the project?
Not to the project, but him as a person.
Rock on.
Because I feel so much, you know, with this as the core of the project, and me putting my passion in this, it can't fail.
Rock on.
Because, you know, knowing those documentaries, the movie that made us, and you start to realize what people went through in order to have the product they finally had, I'm like, you know, no, just shut up and get into the dirt, man.
When can we see? Amen. But when can we see? Theoretically, the trailer popping before we put the last song
in
on.
2 weeks, there will be a trailer, and it will be a good trailer that represents
fucking trailer.
the entire project of what we're doing and where we're heading with it. So you can see all the stuff that we've done over the last.
And
3
with your
years.
permission, we'd like to throw it all over our interwebs.
You can throw it.
In 2
You can
weeks.
throw it wherever you.
It's gonna be
fancy
hard to
it.
miss.
All right, folks. So as we get going down to this production, we're going to be giving you more. I want to thank you, Sir Director Phil Antigua, and my brother Alex LeBron.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being
Thank
here.
you.
Always,
Thank you for being
gentlemen.
here.
Power to the people, folks. It's Valentine's Day, and this brother's taking a day off.
Thank you.
However, the following week on the 21st, we're going to be here with the lovely ladies. We're doing another fashion extravaganza and fundraiser. We're going to be doing this at Palau Dalmases. All proceeds, 100%, are going to the ADAS, the Association of Sexually Abused Women here in Barcelona. And we're going to be doing a major fashion with a lot of fashionistas. So you're going to be joining us for that. We're going to have some beautiful people here. We will see you in 2 weeks. And as always, we're going to leave you with something else. Since we've been talking about so much happening at this damn time, we're going to leave you with Lizzo and yet another winner. This is Lizzo's About Damn Time. We love you. Remember, there's triple demic out there. I'm kidding, but keep it safe, keep it real. You are loved, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Here's Lizzo.
Have a good one,
Thank you,
people.
everybody. Ciao, ciao.
Love you.
Ciao.
It's bad bitch o'clock, yeah, it's thick 30. I've been through a lot, but I'm still flirty. Is everybody back up in the building? It's been a minute, tell me how you're healing. Cause I'm about to get into my feelings. How you feeling? How you feel right now? Oh, I've been so down and under pressure. I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah. Oh, I'm not the girl I was or used to be. Bitch, I might be better. Turn up the music, turn down the lights. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright, okay, alright. It's about damn time. Turn up the music, let's celebrate. I got a feeling I'm gonna be okay, alright. It's about damn time. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Feeling fussy, walking in my Balenciennes, trying to bring out the fat bit lust. Cause I give a fuck way too much. I'ma need like 2 shots in my cup. Wanna get up, wanna get down. That's how I feel